remember the first time that I saw Randol Mill Park, and it was back, I guess, about 1956, somewhere back then when I was in the 4th grade. And the reason we came here was I was taking art lessons from a local architect. He was Burr Revis. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he was giving art lessons in the old Presbyterian church downtown. And so that weekend, they put me in the adult class, I guess, doing more than stick figures. But we were going to go out and draw the original Randol Mill, or whatever we could find. But that happened to be at the same time that we had that miracle flood that filled up Lake Arlington. Within, I think, filled it up within about a month, and they thought it was going to take several years. Well, so we didn't go, to draw the old original Randol Mill because it was underwater. So we wound up going to Plan B, which was to come here to Randol Mill Park. And I wasn't really familiar with it because I lived over near Meadowbrook Park. My parents moved here in '53. There's about 8,500 people here. I spent most of my life here. But we went, actually we went back, about where the maintenance area is, and I happened to be the only one that showed up that day. So I got some, personal instruction, on how to do watercolor and stuff like that. But the turnpike had just been opened, and so we drew one of those overpasses, and that was our Plan B, and I didn't get to see the old Randol Mill, and never have actually seen the old Randol Mill, but there wasn't a whole lot out here. And then I remember about 1958, I was with Arlington Troop 68, and we came out here and we were competing with other local troops, and there wasn't anything out here except the armory. The armory was here, and I remember we were lashing our signal towers just right out in there where the tennis courts are. There weren't any tennis courts then. Then we did our wigwag or Morse code signaling up on the hill where the swimming pool is now. There wasn't anything there except a hill. So there really wasn't anything out here except the armory, at that time. But I remember coming out here, I think on a bicycle, and well, actually our troop camped out here in Randol Mill Park 2 or 3 times.
Regular basically.
Yeah.
In fact, they had a regional scout camporee out here in Randol Mill Park back about that time.
Yeah, the 58, about 61, something like that. Yeah. And I remember, I had no idea I was going to be living over here, next to the pals. They were pioneers when we came here. They were here. We had our house built, our house. We moved into a house next to the pal log cabin. But I had no idea we were that there weren't any houses out here. There was just, I think, like a barbed wire fence or something a fence running along here. And all of that back in there was just pasture. There weren't any houses. There's one thing I wanted to ask. I don't know if somebody told me there was an old mule barn out here somewhere.
There was, as I said, right out there in the middle, and the horses, they kept their feed apparently in there. That's the first time I saw the property. We crawled over the barbed wire fence and walked around the field.
Yeah, I think Alton Powell told me that all this land up here was belonged to Mr. Harrison. Is that?
And these are, Roger, these are descendants of the Harrisons over here.
Oh, right. So you've been in this area quite a while then.
All the line.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, probably the first time I came out here, where the Exxon station was where my uncle Henry Walker lived. His house was right there. There was no Exxon station at that time. That was his property, and he, I think, came to Arlington about 1947, and then he was a charter member of St. Stephen's Methodist Church. But yeah, I remember visiting them. They were on that, right where that Exxon station is now. And it was out in the country, you know. I mean, there wasn't anything out here, you know. I think there was some liquor store. I learned years later there was a liquor store down on the Village Creek, but there really wasn't anything out here. But you know, I mean, there was development finally, and I remember talking about the Buddy's supermarket. I remember working in the architectural firm downtown Fort Worth, the largest firm, Preston Guerin, and they were actually drawing that store up. And I remember at the last minute, the 11th hour, the owner wanted to make some bunch of changes, so they were having to pull an all-nighter, you know, to get those drawings changed and get them out. But I remember coming out here with a guy named Jeff Callista, and he was shooting grades. I was holding the stick on the curbs, you know, just on the south side of Buddy's supermarket. There was, I think, a little donut shop out here, over there in that shopping center. And I think, yeah, there's something over there, I guess, where the Domino's Pizza is now. But there wasn't a whole lot out here, but I know some traffic was bad. So if people were going somewhere, I don't know. And that was back, I guess, about 72, somewhere around there. So I've had, I guess, encounters with Randol Mill Park in this area for some time, and then I had no idea when we moved here into the house next to Powell's in '78 that we'd be here this long. So we're still here.